Hello people, my name is Rage, and welcome one and all to my E3 video, namely the top 10 games that I saw at E3. This year was honestly a fantastic event. It was a lot better than last year. There was a lot of cool stuff, a lot of fun things happened. I lost out on a lot of sleep, but overall, I was genuinely impressed and very satisfied with a lot of the things that went down. So, I'm left feeling pretty damn happy. Now, before we get into this, as we are about to, I must do the usual disclaimer. All items on this list are here because of entirely my own opinion, so I'm sure a lot of you guys may disagree with the games here or their placement, etc., and that's good. I really want some awesome discussion of the games that I mention and even ones that I don't mention in the comments, because it's always wonderful to read, and you guys really prove that you've got some really nice opinions when it comes to the medium we all know and love. So, before I get into number 10, I do want to quickly rattle off the games that I considered for the top 10 but didn't include. I'm not going to explain about them because otherwise I may as well make it a top 17, but I did at least want to tell you what got cut at the very final hurdle. So we have Sea of Thieves, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, oh my god, Firewatch, Uncharted 4, Mirror's Edge, Catalyst, Rainbow Six Siege, and Doom. And also a little bit of XCOM 2. So there we go. Without further ado, my number 10. Rise of the Tomb Raider. I love this franchise, what can I say? Partly due to it always being kind of fun, the platforming, the puzzles, the exploring, the environments, it's always been enjoyable, and also because the first Tomb Raider is the first ever game I played, so you know, it always holds a very strong place in my nostalgia library, if we're gonna put it like that. And the reboot was just, it was really good. It wasn't crazy incredible, but it was the best Tomb Raider game in years. It was a lot of fun to play, and it really felt like a Tomb Raider game for a more modern audience, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And to see the sequel looking just as good, well, it makes me very happy. So you may be wondering, you may be going, Rage, if all this is true, if you hold this franchise in such high regard, then why, pray tell, lay it on me. Is it only in number 10? Well, I'll tell you the answer to that, my friend, because I am glad you asked, and you did. It's a bloody timed exclusive on Xbox, and that makes me, well, it doesn't make me angry, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It sucks, it's a terrible practice, and to restrict people who love this franchise to having to wait for God knows how many months to play a game like this, not on Xbox, well, it's just, it makes me sad. I was just visibly like, oh, when I saw this was a thing. So while I'm really excited, my hype balloon was fit to skyrocket. As soon as it was a timed exclusive, well, there was a leak in that hype balloon. There was a leak, and it is sad. And as far as the gameplay is concerned, it looks pretty much more of the same, but a little bit better. And honestly, that's fine. I want them to build and refine on what they had. So that's why Rise of the Tomb Raider is number 10. So number 9, then, as you probably were able to guess, Star Wars Battlefront. This is here because I love the original Battlefront, and I love Star Wars. Now, there is every possibility that even with the gameplay that we saw, which looked okay, it's gonna kind of suck, and I don't know what to do with this one. This game is either going to make so many people just like, oh, how could you? You were supposed to make the Battlefront game that was promised, not destroy the franchise. Or it could be the best thing since sliced bread, and I just don't know, but I want to hope. And that's why it's here. Maybe have a new hope before DICE strike back or something. I don't know where I'm going with this. To me right now, it looks like Battlefield with a Star Wars skin, which might be enough. Battlefield's gun mechanics and stuff, they're not bad. Graphically, it looked cool. You can be Jedi and Sith on the battlefield. That looks fun, and I just don't know. I think right now, it's probably going to be more good than bad, but again, I just don't know. So that's why it's number 9. I am excited and I'm hopeful. Moving on then to the next one. No Man's Sky coming in at number 8. This is all the way up on the list because last year it was my number 1, and it's kind of disheartening to see it appear again, but with no real tangible new stuff, no release date, and it worries me a little because it's a big project, and I don't know, there's a side of me that's like, ooh, and I can't shake that feeling. We did see a little bit more gameplay. We saw, like, the vastness of the universe and the thousands and thousands and thousands of planets you can visit, and some flora and fauna and a little bit of space combat, and all in all, it does look nice, but it felt very kind of demo-y and not in a good way. I don't know. This, much like Star Wars, I think has the potential to be either mind-bogglingly brilliant or kind of a hype machine that just kind of ends up being pretty lame. I want it to do good, because the idea of what is effectively, it kind of looks like a 3D Terraria, especially when you're on the ground. I say 3D, you know what I mean. And exploring all the various creatures and categorizing them, that's something I personally am very interested in, and I can still play alongside my friends who are more interested in maybe space fighting, and I like that it gives you that dichotomy. I just worry if they can fully realize this dream, because it's a big, big scope. I hope they do, I want them to, but because of a slight worry, it's up at number 8. So, moving on to my first completely brand new game on the list. Number 7 then, The Last Guardian. I mean, what can I say? This looked lovely. It really did. I would put this higher because Eco and Shadow of the Colossus were just absolutely... Is it Eco? I always get that wrong. Have I got that wrong? I'm really sorry if I've got that wrong. But either way, you know what I'm diggity saying. Did I just say diggity? I am the worst human. Either way, Shadow of the Colossus, for me, was just an incredible game, a masterpiece. I loved it. And now The Last Guardian, it just looks perfect. As soon as you saw that dog-bird creature, you were like, yes, that is it, right there. And I'm excited. The bit of gameplay we saw looked visually stunning. It was like, oh, when the dog and the boy are working together. The puzzles were kind of, the gameplay looked kind of nice, but nothing crazy. But just from a design standpoint, it looks really exciting. But it's up here at 7 because I just don't think the gameplay we saw was meaty enough for it to be truly like, I need it so bad. I'm hoping that what we saw was early game stuff and it gets a lot more in depth later on, because right now it seems visually really appealing and the world is really appealing. But I worry it's going to be a little bit too shallow. But then again, I have faith. I really do. If Shadow of the Colossus have taught me anything, they're going to do a good job. So I'm very excited for The Last Guardian. Next up at number 6, then, we have For Honor, which I am a big fan of conceptually. I love melee combat. I love the old-time fighting, armies, battles. It's just always appeared to me. I much prefer it to guns and gunplay and modern war, and it's okay. I have fun in gun-shooty games, but nowhere near the joy I get out of good old sword-on-sword action. And For Honor looked really neat. It really did. The animation quality and the visuals in the gameplay were incredible. They really were. And the fact that you have armies on armies and that you individually are not actually that much more powerful than a random AI member of your army, seemingly. All that separates you is you have the skill of the player behind you. The one-on-one battles with the other players in the enemy army all seemed pretty neat. My only worry, and why it's at number 6, is that the gameplay looked a little bit stilted, a little bit, now you do something, now I'm going to do something, less kind of action-y back and forth, intense combat. And I feel like that might be caused by a very deliberately scripted demo, which I think ironically did detract from the game instead of enhance it, and maybe in real gameplay with players just trying to win, you're going to get these frantic, hectic sword-on-sword, boom, 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 kind of a la Chivalry, but it looked a lot more in-depth, and that is fantastic, and I hope it does. But based on the gameplay that we saw, it does look very promising, especially visually. I can't stress that enough. I mean, the various warriors, the Vikings, samurai, and knights, they all looked lovely, and the environment they were fighting in was phenomenal. I'm very excited to just jump in and just kind of be like, wow, I am fighting in this place against those types of enemies, and that looked slick when I just decapitated that fool, and just enjoy all of that, and then hopefully be pleasantly surprised by a deep and fulfilling combat system that rewards skill in kind of one-on-one duels, and hell, even one-on-many duels with massive parts of the army. So I think there's a lot of potential. I know I'm saying that a lot, but you can only really say that when we've had such limited interaction with these games. I just think it'll be really good. I do. If they can pull off a good melee combat system, I think For Honor has a lot of good stuff to be going on for it. So let's move on to number 5. Dark Souls 3. I mean, obviously, this was going to be on the list. The only question is, where on the list was it going to be? And actually, this used to be number 10 on the list. Now, let me tell you why. We only really got to see a teaser trailer, which, apart from looking neat, as Dark Souls trailers tend to do, didn't really tell us sod all about the actual game, so it was a little bit of a worry. Is it actually gonna be good? What are they doing? Because while I love Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1 I think is the technically superior game, and it's kind of up in the air what Dark Souls 3 is going to be like. Is it going to follow more 2 or follow more 1? At least it was up in the air until we had reports from people who have actually played it at E3 and have confirmed it plays and feels and looks very much like Dark Souls 1, and actually it's pretty damn incredible. And while a lot of that may be hype machine, that does give me a lot of faith, because it is being headed by the Dark Souls OG himself, that they're going to pull it out of the bag here and really deliver a proper hearkening successor to Dark Souls 1 in terms of theme and world and mechanics, and that's really, really promising. So based on that information that I learned, that it is actually shaping up to be pretty damn good from what people can see, it bumped 5 places on my list. So there we go, Dark Souls 3. I'm hoping it's going to be great. It is reportedly to be so. And I mean, it's a Souls game, irrelevant of anything. Dark Souls 2 was still good, it's still going to do well, it's still going to be fun. I just want it to be another timeless, like, almost masterpiece like Dark Souls 1 was. So I'm very excited for that. Moving on. In number 4 then, we have Dishonored 2. This one you maybe not expected, but I love the original Dishonored. I feel like it needed a lot more attention than it got. It did get a fair amount, I just want it to completely blow up, because I love that game. The mechanics were brilliant, playing a non-lethal playthrough was rewarding, and required a lot of skill, and the story was really neat, and everything in that world was a joy to behold and explore, and I enjoyed it so much. I felt properly like a stealthy type assassin, agent type dude, and not a lot of games that try and be that successfully pull it off. In fact, more don't than do, and Dishonored really did things. I kind of lost my train of thought there and derailed heavily, but that's not the point. And I love Dishonored. It was great. I played it lots, and it honestly was one of my favorite games of all time. So to see it get a sequel, of course, was brilliant. And you can play as both Corvo, the original character, and Emily, which seems pretty damn neat. They'll obviously have different skill sets and abilities, so you got a little bit of variety like that. My worry is it kind of looks, from what we saw, more of the same, which actually isn't that bad. I'd still enjoy it, because obviously I love the first one and more would be good, but I am hoping they do ramp it up a little bit. But either way, another visit to the world of Dishonored with its awesome, awesome stealthy assassin-y mechanics is something I am going to be all over. And I love the art style as well. The aesthetic to Dishonored was one of my favourite ever game aesthetics. I used it as a reference point for so many other games since then. So I'm just really, really just happy to get to revisit the world of Dishonored. I really, really am. So that's why it's here at number 4. One of my favourite games ever, and I cannot wait to see this released. Next up. And yes, here it is. I bet a lot of you were like, this better be on the list, Rage. If this isn't on the list, at least in top 3, I'm going to hunt you down, and I'm going to torture you. We have Fallout 4. Now, I'm going to say, straight away that I was expecting to not like the look of Fallout 4 at all. And not because I've got anything against the games, but because Fallout, for me, as a franchise, it's never really done anything for me. I mean, I've got like 50-ish hours in Fallout 3, which, you know, pales in comparison to the thousands that people have that are really into it, but, you know, it's a fairly respectable amount, enough to know that I really don't like it. And it's not that it's a bad game, because it's not. Fallout 3, objectively, is brilliant. It's just, for me, I kind of don't like the setting. I kind of didn't like the combat. You know, I'm not generally a fan of guns. It was like a mix of overarching themes and settings that I normally stay away from, at least in the way that Fallout did it, and because of that, I always felt it really hard to get into it. I loved the characters and the story, and there was a lot of fun interactions, and there was a lot of cool set pieces and ideas there, and I liked a few of the decisions that you had to make, and there was a lot of stuff I did like. I think for me, Fallout 3 and the rest of the series is loads of individual components, which I do like, but for some reason, when made into one whole, it just didn't work for me, and I don't know why that is, and of course, it's entirely my own opinion here. I'm no way saying Fallout is bad. I know a lot of people love it, and rightly so, but for me, it just never did anything. So this is why Fallout 4 surprised my socks off, and why it's number 3 on my list. Because Fallout 4 looks really, incredible. It looks ridiculously expansive, hundreds of hours for your first playthrough, and that's not doing everything. And what they have added to the game is something that for someone like me, it's worth playing for. I have always wanted an RPG where I can build my own settlement, recruit people, and manage my own town governor style. I have always wanted that in something, and Fallout actually doing it with that level of customization and in-depth mechanics and what you can do, well, I was bloody impressed, and I was sold right there and then. Simply having that your own town mechanic is why I am bloody excited for Fallout 4. The actual combat and fighting does look a lot refined. I like that people move in slow-mo in VATS now. That makes it a lot more epic for me. I like how all of the enemies look. Having a dog is obviously nice and adorable. And the gameplay looked really smooth. The environment looked a lot upgraded from Fallout 3. It generally looked really nice. I also loved the character creation, really intuitive, very Black Desert style in how it actually functioned, just being able to drag the face around. It looked very powerful. I like how they're doing the Pit-Boy. It just seems like they've taken a lot of the things that kind of I couldn't get by and made it a lot slicker, a lot smoother, and really changed my view completely on the series. I think Fallout 4 will be the first Fallout game I get properly stuck into and really, really go for. I think it will be absolutely fantastic, and I genuinely think they have done a phenomenal job. They knew exactly what to show, exactly what people wanted to. Their presentation was on point, and I will be surprised if Fallout 4 is not definitely in contention for Game of the Year. I mean, Witcher 3 clearly already has that one, but Fallout 4 looks to be a solid second at this point. I can't help it, I'm a big fan of The Witcher. But no, I am very impressed by what I saw of Fallout 4, and I'm very excited. Even the armor and power armor and, oh my god, the gun customization, I forgot about that, how in-depth you can get. I'm liking everything I'm seeing, which I didn't expect to, is what I'm trying to say. So there you go, Fallout 4, I'm looking forward to it, excited to properly try my best to get into a Fallout game. And it's gonna be, I think, very good. Moving on then to the top 2. At number 2, we have Kingdom Hearts 3. I love the Kingdom Hearts games. I love the story. I love the feels. I love the gummy ship. I love the gummy ship. I really love the gummy ship. The gummy ship was fantastic. I love customizing gummy ships. God, I played gummy ships so much. I made the best gummy ships. I really want gummy ships in Kingdom Hearts 3. Sorry, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. We finally got to see gameplay and just, oh, yeah, brilliant. I am happy. God. Kingdom Hearts 3 we obviously knew about, we had trailers but nothing solid, and watching that gameplay, I mean, my heart soared. It certainly did. Enough to defeat any Heartless. I was naming the Keyblades as I was seeing them, the enemy types, and it was one hell of a trip for me watching that gameplay. It's always been a series that I've really been a fan of, and I think it gets a little bit of a bad rep. A lot of people see it as a little bit too maybe childish, or, you know, it's Disney characters and stuff, but I think it's a game that you have to play to fully appreciate. And once you do, you kind of go, alright, no, I get it. I see why this is a thing people love now. And I've always been really into it ever since playing the first two. I'm excited to see how the story develops. And the gameplay itself looked so much upgraded from the previous one. Because the problem with Kingdom Hearts 2 is you felt very fixed to the floor in everything that you did. And they made a big point showing Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a lot of jumping around, off walls, climbing, aerial stuff. And the combat looked very more open, fluid, and energetic, and that really excites me, because that's something it really did need. So assuming they've got the rest of the game down, the story's going to end in a cool way, which I have no doubt it will. They're great at storytelling in the Kingdom Hearts games. I mean, I'm over the moon. I am over the moon. I cannot wait to play it, and there's not much more I can say. I love Kingdom Hearts, and there we go. So now then, my number one game, and to give you a hint, I always like to give my number one game to something that's new, a new IP, a new idea, and this one this year has blown me away. Number one then, Horizon Zero Dawn. What can I say? This game was out of nowhere, unexpected, and absolutely floored me. For me personally, I think the concept, the world that they've come up with and designed, everything I saw was genius. I think it is brilliant. It's not completely original, but it damn straight is in the most parts, and I just think it's fantastic. The gameplay we saw looked exhilarating, skill-based, intense against enemies that are phenomenally designed, destructible, dynamic in how you bring them down, rotating through your arrow types as you know precisely as a hunter what to use when and where as you bring this beast that's way bigger than you. And I think it stems from my love of Monster Hunter games and just the idea of being reduced to technological level of tribes and bows, but what you are doing is stalking and hunting machine animals in open, lush-looking, lovely, graphically incredible animation, incredible planes. It's just a recipe for just, for me. I cannot stress enough how much that hit all of the things that I love about a game. I loved all of the concepts, and everything I saw made me desperately need to play that. I cannot wait for this game. I hope they nail it. I hope it does not let us down. I hope it's one of the best games ever, because I think conceptually it is incredibly wonderful. I really do. Just seeing the Huntress go through the bushes trying to evade the little detector robots, hide from T-Rex type looking robots, how you know to shoot the parts off the back of sort of ostrichy type robots to get their green fuel to presumably bring back to the village to help power stuff, and there was even hat giraffe robots which looked fantastic. I just love the dichotomy of primitive hunters versus machine animals, and the world it was set in looked fantastic, coupled with what looked to be one hell of a fun combat system. I mean, there's not much to say because we didn't see too much, but I will fully get on the hype machine for Horizon Zero Dawn. I thought it looked brilliant, so I am so ready to play the hell out of that game. I really am. So there you have it, guys. That is my top 10. What did you think? Did you guess it? What's your top 10? I'd love to know all of these things. I want some awesome discussion in the comments like I know you guys can do and like to do. It's gonna be good. E3 was good. 2015 is looking a phenomenal year for gaming, the best in ages, and it's a good time to be into, quite frankly, the best goddamn medium on the planet. Wouldn't you agree, guys? I think so. So there we have it. My name has been Rage. This has been my E3 Top 10. Remember to like if you've enjoyed this. It really does help, guys. A lot of work goes into this. And subscribe for more. Oh, goodbye.